Hi, everybody. Welcome to Romance Happy Hour. We're glad that you made it tonight. I'm here with Dawn, and we're going to talk to Emma Brady and Victoria Pinder in just a minute, but we wanted to say welcome to tonight's episode. Dawn, you're the one that came up with that sparkly drink. Did you make it?
Yes. Well, I didn't see it, but the sparkles are in there. They just went to the bottom. And I don't know if you can see, but I got sparkly on my face too. But that was a little sprinkles. Okay.
Yeah, the sparkles. I have two girls, and I mean, we haven't had sparkles glitter really for anything in our house for a couple of years, and we still end up glittery and sparkly every once in a while. So, see, I couldn't find edible glitter. Where do you get your edible glitter?
So I got it at Michael's in the cake aisle. But it called for, I wanted to find pearl because that's what it called for, but I could only find silver.
Oh, bummer.
So it's not as bright and sparkly as I'd like. But it's
something to add to your search list as you search all of the Michaels in the greater Texas area, I'm sure.
Michaels.
I did not have glitter. I'm drinking Bailey's on the rocks and water. I partied late last night in the Romance Chicks Facebook party. So I'm a little under the weather. Just kidding. All right. So, Dawn, what are you working on? We're supposed to say that too.
Yeah. I am still just working on self-publishing my backlist, and I'm waiting to hear from Harlequin about a submission for a Coast Guard contemporary boot camp. I know, fingers crossed, and I'm waiting for Harlequin HQN for a Lighthouse contemporary proposal. So I'm waiting for those and just editing and keeping busy with my backlist. What about you?
Cowboy Christmas Jubilee comes out next week, and I'm super excited about that. And all my copies are downstairs, so I can't even show you what it looks like. But October 30th, that one comes out, and then my project on Radish is still going strong, and a new episode releases on that every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And that has been a lot of fun. My husband is actually reading it as it comes out, and it's a little crazy. What's that? You cut out.
Just explain real quick how Radish works for the readers. Like, do they have to buy stuff, or is it free, or?
Both. So Radish is an app that you can get on your phone or tablet. It's Radish Fiction. It's pink and it's a big white R. And writers can decide if they want to have all of their episodes free or if they want to have them locked. Mine is locked for the first 7 days, and then it's free after 7 days. So, and then some authors will have their episodes locked the whole time, or not locked, but they're like pay-per-view. So, and then each episode is 3 coins. Different live events and stuff where you can buy coins, and they're really inexpensive. It's very reasonable. And then you can, use those to read ahead if you want. So right now, so many episodes are free, and then every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, a new one unlocks for free. So you could read my whole book for free. You just have to wait until it all comes out.
Victoria said,
how long are the episodes? They're about 1,500 to 2,000 words. So like the length of maybe, a scene or a chapter, depending on how verbose the writer is.
See, that's me. I overdo 1,500 to 2,000.
2,500
if I'm really into it, but that's my scenes are about 2,000. Try to keep it at that.
So yeah, it's been a lot of fun, and I've been getting a lot of feedback. It's a little different from the cowboy books. It's a little steamier, and so that's not for everybody. I totally get it, but it's been a lot of fun, and if you want to check it out, let me know what you think if you do. So I see Linda's here. Hi, Linda, our faithful Linda. She's always here. It's always good to see you, Linda. I'm going to bring on Victoria. Let's pop her up here. And then I'll bring Emma up here too, so we can say hi to them.
Hi.
All right, Victoria, you're on screen now.
Hi. How is everybody?
I know, I feel like the man behind the curtain or something when I have control over who gets to be on TV and who doesn't.
Yeah, it's fun.
So there we've got Victoria Pinder and Emma Brady. So you guys can say hi. Is Emma frozen? Emma might be frozen.
I see her. Yeah, I see her. Linda says hi as well.
Oh. So Victoria, you want to tell us a little bit about yourself, what you write and what you're working on and what you're drinking, if anything?
Oh, I wish I could drink. I'm still nursing. So step one. So yeah, my baby's only 6 months, or 5.5. So I'm always working. I've taken the challenge of writing almost 5,000 a day for the past couple weeks. It's been a lot. But it's been good. So I'm writing contemporary romance. Let me see. I have a book that came out this week. Yay, Secret Romeo. And then I have pretty much a book coming out every month for a while now. So, yeah.
Wow.
She's on fire. This woman is on fire with a 5-month-old. I mean, I think that makes us all feel really like big slackers.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
When I was nursing and having a new baby, I just kept telling myself, it's okay. It's okay that I didn't do this. I'm nursing. You're on fire. You're awesome.
Put a shirt on me. This is very exciting.
I was gonna say, I always felt like I'd accomplish something if I managed, a shower.
Yeah, I had that today too. It's a great day.
Yep. So and we've got Emma here too. Emma, you want to just introduce yourself and say what you write and what you're working on?
Yeah. I Victoria novels. Currently have coming in. It's a series. I also that's out. I have a standalone novel that's out. Actually, also have a book that is currently on Radish. Although I've already published segments, and then I also short story in a home.
Awesome.
That sounds great. You were kind of cutting out a little bit there. I'm hoping that everybody's. What's that?
Yeah, I think her internet. She's cutting out on my end. Is she cutting out on yours?
A little bit.
It might be the end of the month. That's my theory. all of the internet is like gone at the end of the month.
Not the full moon.
Or Halloween.
I don't know, something. All right. Well, I'm gonna pop I'm gonna pop Emma out and Dawn, I'm gonna pop us out and I'm gonna let Victoria get started on reading.
Yay.
From her selection, and we'll see how it goes, and then we'll have some Q&A when you get done. So what are you reading from tonight?
Okay, I'm going to read from Secret Romeo. With Secret Romeo, I'm going to read the part where the heroine has has gone over to talk to the guy who is her ex-husband, who she hasn't seen in 25 years. So he's
okay. And is this your holiday book, or is that a different one?
No,
this is the holiday one. Okay, awesome. Good. And this one just came out last week? Yesterday. Okay, I'm sorry. God, my brain. See, it's not the internet, it's me. Okay, we're going to leave you to it. We're going to hop out of here, and feel free to just start whenever, and then we'll come back and save you before too much time goes by, okay? We promise.
Great. All right.
All right, whenever you're ready.
Okay. All right, so reading. Pilar looked over her shoulder and froze. There he was again. This time his brown eyes were clear. Her Samuel wasn't a ghost. He was too close and too real with those grays in his hair and the lines around his eyes. Goosebumps grew on her arms as she told her children in a monotone voice, Caro, Rafe, it's your father. Rafe stepped in front of her as if to protect her from danger while Samuel walked toward near the door of the private dining room. I won't let him disappear on us again, Mama, he called to the man in question in his former police detective voice. You there. The man casually joined them like this was a normal, everyday moment. Pilar's body pulsated with questions and she couldn't blink, afraid he'd disappear if she took her eyes off him. The man stared right at her and as he said, I came to see you three. Do I know you? Her heart nearly stopped. It was the same voice. She'd grown up with Samuel, married him when they were both 18, and traveled to the United States together to raise any family they might have in Miami. Her spine stiffened as she held her head higher. She stepped in front of her son, this time protecting him. Something wasn't right. Noah, Samuel, we're your family. I'm your wife. Caro and Rafe are your children. Her husband then whipped his head and looked at the young lady beside him and then returned his attention back to her. Who is Samuel? Samuel Soles, Rafe curled his hands into fists. What game are you playing? Don't do this to our mother. Her son had taken his father's place in looking after the family years now, but this wasn't the time for manly displays of strength. The men even smelled like her husband, like palm trees after a storm and almonds mixed together. She ignored the longing that curled into her blood as she told her children in a steady voice, Rafe, you don't have to defend me from your father. Take your wife and son inside the dining room. Caro, you go too, please. I'd like to speak to Samuel alone. The man turned to the young woman beside him and asked, Valentina, can you give us a few minutes alone as well? The young woman nodded and stepped towards the patio. Had she been there these past few minutes, Pilar stood still and just breathed the same air as her husband for the first time in 25 years. She gazed her waist. She hugged her waist and waited for them to be alone. Though the first question she asked as her gaze followed the young woman was, who is Valentina, Samuel? My name is Santiago Matisse, he told her and offered to shake her hand. This is my daughter, Valentina. We came to celebrate Christmas on the island. The offer to touch raced through her and she sent a pulse that made her body ache. She nodded and shook his hand. His eyes rounded and they touched and she knew they shared the spark of awareness. She took her hand back before she gave away her tremble. Our daughter, Caro, she's getting married on the island for Christmas. We're all going to celebrate Caro and Luke's nuptials. Without warning, the man placed his hand on her shoulder, like Samuel had done countless times when they wanted to protect her. Let's go to the beach for privacy. Pilar glanced at the dining room and saw Rafe standing like a soldier in the distance. She turned back to Samuel. Yes, prying eyes won't leave us alone here. Do you want me to keep reading? I can keep reading. Okay. Let me see. Prying eyes. They walked through the lobby and back to the canopy that led to the beach as he said, I overheard you earlier. Your name is Pilar? Pilar Solis. Shawl floated at, I can't read, I'm sorry. Her shawl floated at her back as she reached the beach and sunshine beat down on her shoulders. She pushed her hair behind her ears so that it wouldn't blow in her face. I was born Pilar Maria Oriega Iglesias, but when we migrated from Cuba together, we decided to practice the American custom of taking last names so our children fit in. He paused and took his laced black shoes to dig in the sand. So your Samuel was Cuban? She slipped out of her black heels that were left over from the last House of Morgan design party she attended with her daughter. Sand and sea washed between her toes as she let out a small sigh. Who are you, Santiago? I don't know. He carried his shoes in his left hand and put his right in the trouser pocket. Or he didn't want to tell her where he'd been for 25 years. Had she been a fool waiting all this time? And I just lost my page. Oh no. So that's it, because I lost my page. Give me a minute. So hi, I'm going to just keep talking while I find my page.
That's okay. I can come back and talk to you so you're not just on there by yourself.
Oh no, thank you. I'm like, what happened to my page?
Are you nervous, Victoria?
Yeah, I'm not really good at reading out loud. Even my critique groups knows that when I read, I'm like, speed, and it's not good.
I was going to say, you're just going really fast. I mean, otherwise, I think you sound great. You're just going really, really fast.
The same thing in critique group too, every time. Like, every time.
I had to read my first 10 pages aloud one time, and they had to ask me 3 times, I think, to slow down. And but I don't want to slow down because the faster I go, the sooner it'll be over with.
Yeah, every time for years it's been that way. I try to slow down. I think I'm slow, and then like to me, I'm not. I know.
Do you have more to read, or do you want to open it up to questions?
You can go to questions. That'll be good.
Okay. I'll bring Dawn and Emma back in here.
Okay.
And we'll see if anybody has any questions for you.
I love the countdown. It makes me feel.
Or I can keep reading, but I.
We've got a couple people on here that just signed in. Hi, Deb. Hi, 80. Hi, Stephanie.
You almost missed it, Deb, but you're there and you're commenting. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
Uh-oh, is Deb one of yours, Dawn?
My mom.
Hi, Dawn's mom. I haven't told my mom how to get in here yet.
I don't know how to comment, so everybody clap for my mom. She can comment now.
Yay!
She's gonna kill me. All right, so what's your favorite genre to write?
Contemporary. Contemporary. Once in a while, I like a little paranormal, but mostly contemporary.
Is that the same with reading?
Yes, I've always read. Well, I like reading contemporary, and I also like reading historical romance. I wish I could write historical romance, but
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
The research.
Yes, I love history teacher. Like I love history. It's not the research so much as the voice. I don't think I have.
Okay.
Linda wanted to know when you have time. What do you like to read? But you just said that. Contemporary.
Oh, we lost Emma.
No, she's having problems.
I think she's having some internet connection problems. Hopefully she'll pop back in here.
My first, like, when I go to my go-to background is like, okay, I have a few minutes and read a Harlequin because those are fast, and I love reading like a Harlequin Desire if it's just a real quick read. If I have a longer read, then I have lots of things to read.
Oh, 80 is stacking the questions. She said, if someone were brand new to reading your books, Victoria, what book should they start with?
Secret Crush.
Ooh.
And where does that fall in your lineup? Like which book is that? Is that your very first book you wrote, or is it down the line? Because you have a bunch of books out there.
Yes, I do. I don't like to tell people to read my first book. They're awful. But they are. But if they were new, I would read Secret Crush, maybe Favorite Crush, which is kind of a different series. But Secret Crush is fun because it's like figure out what I was doing.
And is it a first in the series?
It is the first in the series, and you can get it for 99 cents or free in the BookBub bundle right now for the week. So it's still free. You can go get it. Yeah.
Very cool.
You do a lot of BookBub?
I wish. I apply all the time. If they'll take me, I'll do it.
And has it been worthwhile? I know that's the big question. Everybody I've talked to has always had just a resounding yes. So I would imagine then if you're reapplying all the time that it's definitely worthwhile.
Well, I'm wide, so it's really your only avenue to make sure that everybody's seeing you wide.
Sure.
So kind of play the BookBub like, please take me.
Yeah. I got a BookBub recently being Amazon only, but Amazon was giving me so much issues with the BookBub that I just pulled it out and went wide. Talked to BookBub. They said, yeah, wide is better anyway, so they still let me do it, even though I was all mixed up. But I'm historical. So do you find that you, with contemporary, have you gotten a paid yet with contemporary?
Got what?
A paid BookBub yet?
Oh, yeah, I've had paid BookBubs and free BookBubs. Free BookBubs make more money though.
The free BookBubs do?
Yeah.
They make you more money?
Yes, they do.
Really?
On the tail, because you get more people to download it, which means they read your stuff and then they get your other stuff.
Interesting. I'll have to check that out.
But Dawn, we have to have a bunch of books out first. See, I have one and like an almost.
No, I like it. I mean, Kensington's the one that started me on the BookBub thing, and like that's the only thing that really works for me. So I love BookBub.
By the way, we're learning how to use this technology all the time, and I just figured out that I can show comments on the screen.
Yeah.
So 80 was kind enough to go and pull up the links for, I'm assuming those are for Victoria's books. I'm hoping I'm not putting something else up there, but yeah, I'm pretty sure those are the ones that you were just talking about, that 80 was kind enough to go and put them up there for us. So
it's free this week.
does anybody else have any other questions for Victoria? You have kind of a, I have a question, because you came to writing via some other interesting careers. Do you want to talk about that a little bit?
Well, when I was like a teenager, I was really good at math, so I got a job in engineering. Wound up with the 3G network of AT&T. That's what I was working on when I was like 16. It was weird, and then because I could pass math tests really easy, and then but I didn't really want to do that. It was very boring to stay at my desk, which is what a writer does all the time. That's a different. So I left that and decided I was going to go to law school, because law school is where you're going to have fun, and that was awful. I like the study of law. The study of law is awesome, but the practice of law, not so much. So then I became a teacher. I taught AP, so advanced placement, government, economics, U.S. history. You want to talk about the Gilded Age? I've got you. I actually like history, but I love reading it. And I just wish I had the voice. It just, in history, the girl really can't do much, because that's just, you can't do much. And then I get that, historical writers don't these days kind of pretend that they do stuff, but it's the history teacher in me goes, no, she can't do anything. My mom.
Sorry, I missed that. What? I'm sorry.
Oh, I said history teacher in me, in my head.
Pay attention, Dawn.
That she can't do anything. She's stuck. Like, she can't do half of the stuff she's doing in a historical romance novel, which I love to read. But in my head, when I try to write it, I'm like, nah, she couldn't have done that. And then I just get stuck.
Yeah. See,
you're too accurate, is what you're saying. You're not taking enough creative license.
No,
I'm gonna have to really connect with you, because I write historical.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, like I'm all about, my heroines are always bending the rules. Like, that's just what I like, spunky rule breaker women, and that's.
I like reading it. I do like reading it. It's just, as the history teacher, I'm like, no, she can't do these things, and then that bothers. Like, I have this mental block. Like, oh, she can't do it. I can't be creative.
Well, in Dawn, I haven't read all of your backlist, but the historical westerns that you're writing, those women have to be spunky. They're like, on the open frontier and kind of making their own way. And whereas I guess if they're, in Regency England or something, it might be harder for them to break the mold if they're, I don't know. I don't know anything about historical, so I'm not even going to pretend to contribute to this conversation. I like reading it, but research just, no thank you.
And then like, I write historical lighthouse, and those women I actually tailor to real women in lighthouse history, who were like they were all heroines, true heroines, and most of them have even better stories than I could even ever make up about, but they all did it in these big old dresses. And that's one thing I like to go back to. I love my trousers, and I always like to put my girls in my trousers, just even if just for a little while, like trying them on, just kind of, seeing how far they can push the boundaries. But with my lighthouse girls, historical girls, I keep them in the big old dresses, because it kind of helps to make it more difficult when they're rowing out to sea to rescue sailors, which actually did happen. And thank you, Adi. And Glenda, I see you. I'm so glad you got my books. Hi. But yeah, it's challenging, and you definitely make some people mad when it's not perfect. But sometimes you have to sometimes you just have to let the story ride at the same time.
Yeah.
All
right, we've got Emma back.
Okay. Yeah, I know she's having problems. I'm sorry, I was texting her. That's why I missed.
That's why you were looking down and not paying attention. All right, we'll let that slide then. Anybody have any other questions for Victoria? Otherwise, Emma, we're going to give this a shot. You were really cutting out before, so I don't know if it's going to work for you to read. Are you frozen?
I think she is.
I think she's frozen.
Oh. Yeah, honestly, I think it's the end of the month. We had problems at the end of the month last time as well.
Yeah, Linda says she's not moving at all to her. Oh, Dawn, your mom is ratting you out, FYI.
Oh my gosh. Oh no.
Here, I'll put it up on screen so you can see that.
I did. So my mom got me one for Christmas. So I was in love with the Little Women. And this was when I was 12. And so for Christmas, all I wanted was a Little Women outfit to dress up like. And so my mother, being the amazing woman that she is, she made it for me. Like, she got me the big hat, turned into the bonnet, and I had like fancy gloves and a fancy dress. And I think I got a picture of me. I don't know. I can't post it. I think I posted it on my Facebook page a while back, but it's me in like my fancy dress and my hat and then a sweatshirt that I got with stickers that I also got for Christmas. And so I'm just like a mixture of old Western and Little Women at that time. Sorry, but I digress. I take over and digress. But
and you look like you're embracing the Halloween spirit tonight. So
I am. Yeah, I was going glittery vampire. My son said, "You need the vampire, Mom." I said, "Yeah, I should have." But it was all for my drink, but I'm almost out, and it's all the way in the kitchen.
All the way in the kitchen.
So I'm just gonna have to do.
That's like 5 feet away, isn't it?
But there's nobody to serve me here except for.
Oh, bummer. Yeah, poor Dawn is, we talked about this last time, but poor Dawn is living in their RV camper right now because they're waiting for, well, I don't know, you can say.
Transfer, yeah. My husband's Coast Guard, and we're transferring soon, and we've been almost transferring for almost a year now. Like, we're wait with the military, so they're like, no, you're going to leave in 2 months. Wait, 2 more months. Wait. A couple more months after that. So that's where we're at.
Yeah, everybody wants to see those pictures, Dawn. So I'm going to have to follow up with your mom afterwards, and we'll see if we can get some of those to post on our Facebook page for posterity.
Yay! Okay. See what I can find. I know my sister sent it to me. So.
All right. Well, since we don't have Emma, we kind of came up with a super fast plan, and I can read a little bit from Cowboy Christmas Jubilee if people want to hear that. I didn't really have time to pick out a scene, though, so I don't know. I'm not exactly sure where we'll end up. Oh, good. Your mom's going to check on that. Good.
Oh, of course she is.
And Linda, she does have a tiny house that travels. She's got a camper. They pull it behind their truck all the time.
Victoria wants a kissing scene.
Oh, shoot. Well, that's going to require some digging. I was going to read the scene where Cash and Jinx first meet. And there's definitely no kissing because they don't like each other very much in the beginning. But I can go ahead and... All right, so I won't make you two suffer. I'll put you back in the lobby so you don't have to sit there and look interested while I'm reading.
Hey, read slow because I'm going to get some more wine.
Oh my gosh, you're so selfish. Yes, I'll read slow just for you, Dawn. So you can walk all 5 feet into your kitchen and get a refill.
That's good.
Okay, so let's see. I will go ahead and I kind of pulled up my manuscript on my computer. Where are we? Okay, so this is only like page 15, 16. So this is not very far into the book. Cash is, if you've read All American Cowboy, you know that Cash is Charlie's older brother. He's a sheriff's deputy in Holiday, And he is a single dad. He's raising his daughter Kinsey by himself. And gosh, I don't remember exactly how old she is right here because she had a birthday. She just turned 7, I believe. And they went out for Halloween at the Rambling Rose. They started a trick-or-treat for a trick-or-treat kids night. And so they're on their way back home from trick-or-treating at the Rambling Rose, and they're in his truck and they're driving down the highway. And let me see where I was going to start. All right, let's see. Here we go. I'll try to read slow so Dawn can get a refill. He led her out of the building and crossed the parking lot to the truck. Once she got settled in her seat, he pulled out onto the road for the short drive home. As he navigated around a bend, he squinted at the dark shape standing on the side of the road up ahead. What the hell? Bad word. Got to put a quarter in the curse word jar when we get home. Stinker. He'd probably be able to pay for her first car with the amount he owed the curse word jar. Her toothy grin filled the rearview mirror. But seriously, what the heck was that? The headlights bounced off what appeared to be a person. They got closer, and he could make out a black jacket, black pants, and a mass of bright hair. The figure turned to face the truck, thrusting a thumb out to solicit a ride. Cash wouldn't pick up a hitchhiker around Austin or San Antonio, but on the back roads surrounding Holiday, he didn't run across many strangers. Probably some kid on her way to a Halloween party in town. He slowed the truck to pull off the road. The girl grabbed the backpack at her feet, slung the strap over her shoulder, and approached the passenger side. Cash lowered the window before leaning across the front of the cab. Hey, where you headed? His gaze raked over her teal hair, shaved to the scalp on one side, exposing an ear full of metal piercings. At least she didn't have any of that crap on her lips or eyebrows. He couldn't understand the kids who poked holes all over their faces. Made booking them a pain in the ass, too, since he couldn't rely on the sensitive metal detectors. Thanks for stopping. Is there a garage somewhere around here? My bike broke down. What, did you slip a chain? Tire go flat? We can throw it in the back and I can run you home. Easy fix. His hand wrapped around the door handle, ready to exit the vehicle and give her a hand. Sorry, it's a motorcycle, not a bike. Cash turned his head back toward the window. She moved into the light coming from the overhead dome. She wasn't as young as he thought. Had to be early 20s. Where did you leave it? We can still toss it in back. I'll drop you off at Dwight's and he can take a look. You got a ramp? She patted the door frame. It's kind of heavy. Is she going to ride with us? Kinsey unbuckled and leaned into the front seat. At the sight of the stranger's bright teal hair, her eyes widened. Are you a mermaid? Great, now his daughter would be begging for a trip to the salon for her first dye job. No, babe, she's probably just dressed up for a Halloween party. What are you supposed to be anyway, a punk rocker? Some sort of survivor of the zombie apocalypse? A hint of pink tinged the woman's cheeks. I'm not going to a party. Look, can you just give me a lift into town? I can come back later with a trailer to get my bike, okay? The color drained from Cash's face. I'm so sorry. I just thought, with that getup, it's fine, really. I'm used to it. Her gaze flitted around the cab. About that ride? Nothing like opening his mouth and inserting both boots at once. He needed to shut up before he buried himself completely. I'd be happy to give you a ride. Do you live close by? Cash gestured to Kinsey to buckle up again as the gal climbed into the cab. She pulled the door closed behind her. Not exactly. He didn't recognize her as anyone he'd seen around town. Where are you from? How far is the garage? She sandwiched her backpack between heavy black motorcycle boots and pressed herself against the door. Not far. You just passing through then? She didn't strike him as threatening, but something about the crazy-ass hair and vintage black leather jacket put him on edge. Or was it the way she looked like she wanted to crawl right out of her skin every time he asked a question? Something like that. Is there a hotel in town, somewhere I can lay up for the night? There's a bed and breakfast just off the main road. Otherwise, the typical chain places are a few miles away along the interstate. Plenty of options closer to Austin. Kinsey's hand reached over the seat to pat the woman's hair. Cash shot a glance toward his daughter. Kinsey, keep your hands to yourself, hon. But it's so pretty. Can I have my hair like that? We'll talk about that when you're 18. The woman let out a soft laugh. It seemed to surprise her since she covered her mouth with her hand. What's your name? Do you like cats? What's your favorite color? Kinsey must have taken that tiny break in the woman's outer armor as an invitation to pepper her with her own questions. The woman turned to face the back seat. My name's Jinx. I like your costume. Thanks. My Aunt Charlie is going to have a baby. Oh, spoiler alert. Congratulations. How old are you, Kinsey? 7. My birthday is in August. When's yours? Do you have any pets? Just one. She reached into her backpack. Cash instinctively stiffened in the seat next to her. She must have noticed. Relax, I've got a dog in my bag. Kinsey squealed as Jinx pulled a small rat-like creature out and held it up. His name is Hendrix. That's an interesting choice of name, Cash commented. Jinx shrugged. My dad was a huge fan of Jimmy. He's so cute. Kinsey's grabby hands reached for the animal. Kins, you need to ask if you can hold it. He cast a quick look at the animal. Does it bite? No, he's super gentle. Here, you can hold him. He likes it when you scratch him behind the ears. She passed the scrawny thing to Kinsey, who nestled it against her chest. Daddy says I can't have a dog. Dogs are a lot of work. Cash felt an unfamiliar need to defend himself. You've already got a cat. Yeah, but Chucky doesn't live inside. I want a dog like this. She ran her fingers over the dog's back. Jinx gave him the side eye. You've got a cat named Chucky? He's got some anger issues. It's a long story. Great, just great. With Christmas coming up, Kinsey would probably tell Santa she wanted a dog. He'd have to figure out a better excuse to head her off before she made the request. His schedule was barely sane keeping up with Kinsey. Adding a dog to the mix wouldn't be fair to the dog or his parents, who took in Kinsey when he had to work nights. While Kinsey fired question after question, he kept one eye on the road and the other on Jinx. Cash let Kinsey do the dirty work. His daughter would make a fabulous interrogator someday. Jinx didn't appear to be threatening, but she definitely had her guard up. Who could blame her? With the crazy hair, pounds of metal piercing her body, and hardcore attire, she didn't exactly fit in with the small-town vibe Holiday was known for. But as his mom always said, what really matters is invisible to the eye. He'd always struggled a little bit with that one, especially in his line of work, where things often were exactly as they seemed. All right, I don't know if I should go on or quit. No, I will not read to you every night, Erin. So I will stop there. And I'll bring Dawn and Victoria back in. And we have a visitor.
She liked your reading. She wanted to come over.
Who's this?
This is Elizabeth.
Elizabeth, way into romance novels?
Apparently she came over. She wanted to hear.
Cute. I tend to put people to sleep, so.
She came over.
Dawn, are you frozen? I think Dawn might be frozen.
Yeah.
Take her out and put her back in.
All right, let's put you to the side, okay?
Oh my gosh, Tanya was late. You just missed it, Tanya. I just read from Cowboy Christmas Jubilee. You have to watch the replay. All right, we have lost Dawn. Victoria, it's you, me, and Elizabeth.
Oh, now she's looking around.
You said she's 5.5 months old?
5.5. She was born Cinco de Mayo.
That's a great birthday. I'm a May baby. Cutie. And you're in Colorado, so it's, is it an hour earlier there?
Yes, it is an hour earlier, so it's 7:43.
Gotcha.
Oh, you want to go see your sister now? Excuse me a second.
Yes, Linda, they are dropping like flies. I know. I don't know what happened to Dawn. I think maybe something happened when she went to get a refill on her wine. But Victoria and I are here if anybody wants to ask any questions. Oh, it says she's in there, but she's not showing up on my screen. Let's see if she comes back in. No.
You want to come back? You done with your sister?
Oh, here she comes. All right, you're back.
I don't know, guys. I was hearing you and seeing you just fine. And
Well, you were gone. You were like this.
really?
Yeah,
See?
the whole time.
Oh,
Like this.
man.
You looked like you were asleep. I put you to sleep while I was reading. Thanks, Dawn.
No, actually, I was gonna say that I was talking to Emma, and she was gonna try to come back in, but she's got a storm, and so she thinks that it really screwing up with her internet. But she was trying to come back in, but now it won't. Her computer won't even let her in the internet at all.
Okay. Well, we'll see if we can get her in on a later episode.
Yeah, that's what I told her.
Uh-oh.
So
Linda's cutting you off, Dawn.
what's that?
Linda is cutting you off. She said no more sparkly wine for you.
It's really good. Actually, I was just thinking that myself when you were reading that, because I was thinking, wow, I'm feeling it.
You did it last month too with was that your pumpkin spice latte?
Yeah. But I'm next time I'm gonna do tea. I promise. Because I got control next time. It's just tea.
We're just giving you a hard time.
Sparkly.
What's that?
I had to get sparkly.
Right. You're always sparkly. You always shine, Dawn, no matter where you are. All right. Victoria, Tanya was wondering, where in Colorado are you? She's curious.
So I live in Denver now. I lived in Miami a long time, but Denver now.
So where did you grow up? Because those are some different climates, kind of like me from Texas to Minnesota. So did you grow up in Miami then?
No, I grew up in Boston.
Oh my, okay. So have you ever lived in Washington State? Because you've almost got, like all four corners of the U.S. covered.
No, but who knows? Maybe next year. I don't know.
Maybe.
So
are those the only places you've lived?
You say you live in Boston?
I'm from Boston. I'm from Charlestown.
You're from Boston. Where?
Charlestown, Massachusetts, townie.
Oh, so we lived in Haverhill for like 7 years.
Okay.
We worked at Coast Guard base in downtown Boston. My husband was stationed in Kittery, Maine, and I was stationed in Boston. And then we were both stationed in Boston. But
I know where that is.
Yeah. I have to say though, they do call them massholes for a reason.
Yeah,
Dawn! Oh my gosh! What if somebody watching is from Massachusetts? You've just offended people from Boston.
Like it.
You're not hearing my butt because you're gonna get offended. But Texans are actually worse than massholes because they try to be massholes. They try to be massholes, but then they lose their nerve at the last minute and they actually cause more traffic problems than the massholes do. So
yeah. I think we're gonna have to cut her off.
She's from Texas, so she's mad.
I can take it.
Yeah.
I can take it. Just wait till next time we're in the same state, girlfriend.
It's gonna kick my ass.
I might.
Say that on our live broadcast.
You did. You were out of control. I hope your mom isn't watching anymore.
She probably is.
I'm just teasing.
What part of Canada is Linda from?
British Columbia, right? Linda? Am I getting that right? British Columbia?
I don't remember. I mailed her something.
I think it's from British Columbia.
And I can't remember.
Can't remember either. Dawn, you and I can take her. Yeah, Tanya's on my side.
Tanya? Tanya's trying to play both sides because she said Texans rock, and now she's saying that you guys can take me. See? That doesn't work, Tanya. All right, let's talk about more books because I know that
Linda, sorry.
She's from Toronto.
Right.
So I don't have a question. What do you want to talk about books? Oh,
all right. What's your next book?
Victoria and I are we have a little group thing going. It's called Yours Ever After, and there's a free collection of books that you can get. There's one of hers, there's one of my short stories, and then there's 6 others in that. And if you go to yourseverafter.com, you can sign up for a newsletter and you can download the whole collection. So, and there's a lot of some steamy contemporary stuff in there. Mine is not steamy. It was a short story that I had written for an anthology, but it's got the same kind of quirky humor, a little bit. And which book do you have in there, Victoria?
Irretrievably Lost. It's also a short story. It's a short story for.
Story too. Okay, I know there's some full-length books in there too.
Not me.
I'm lazy. I mean, I just don't have a massive backlist like you because I don't like type with 4 hands while nursing a baby.
Yeah, right.
So. Oh, Tanya says Dylan and I can take down Dawn. That sounds more like it.
See, I don't know. I think that Tanya.
Loyalties lied there. Tanya, I got to be honest. I was a little worried about our relationship there for a minute. So I'm glad you redeemed yourself.
I kind of feel though like Tanya's gonna be like the cheerleader. Like she's gonna be like, "Go Dylan," and then she'll be like, "Go Dawn," and then she'll like on both of her sides.
Tanya has become my #1 pig resource because she has she's been in.
I live in Texas.
Talk about you, Tanya, because you're not here to tell me when I should be quiet. But you become friends with Tanya on Facebook, and you'll see Tanya is fierce.
All right, fine, but you know what? I can fight. She's Team Dylan. She won't.
Well, yeah, you were in the Coast Guard, so but that's been a long time.
Gunner's mate in the Coast Guard. I know how to fight.
It's been a long time.
Also, I had 5 sisters I beat up regularly. Just
well, you may have me there, but I'm sneaky. I'm scrappy.
I bet you are. I'm sorry. Victoria, I am so sorry. You got us on an episode where we're just spicy.
Well,
it's a full moon.
Dawn is feisty. I'm just trying to defend myself. At least last month, though, we were talking about
books.
Somehow a pirate fetish came up. I don't know who brought that up. So, Victoria, we should ask, though, do you have any fetishes?
I mean, I probably do. I can't think of any. I do love Game of Thrones. You want to talk Game of Thrones? I'm there.
Ooh, I do love Game of Thrones. Who's your favorite character? I mean, there's so many. That was really hard. Okay. Maybe I should say, like, who's your favorite? Oh, never mind. Who's your favorite character? God, I just can't think tonight.
Arya's cool.
Who?
Arya Stark. She's
fun.
Arya.
Okay, I thought you said Aris, somebody. I was like, not Aris. Okay.
Arya.
I feel like
I have a niece named Arya.
Yeah. I feel like I should lose my writing privilege by saying this, but I never said.
Don't say it. Don't say it. Don't do it, Dawn. I'm telling you, don't do it. You're already on thin ice.
I am.
Some homework time.
I've never seen it. We have Netflix, and that's it. And I live in a trailer.
I believe they're on. I think some of the seasons are on these shiny objects called DVDs.
I'll have to check into those.
I'm sure you can get it on Amazon Prime too.
Mm-hmm. Or maybe even at your local library.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't know if they have them at the library, but yeah, you could probably order them on Amazon Prime.
What's that other one that everybody was into that I've also not seen?
Gosh, that leaves it kind of wide open.
It's like the time travel.
Outlander.
Oh my gosh. I'm just not sure we can be friends anymore.
Oh, but 80's on my side. She's never seen it either. 80's on my side.
I think maybe 80 is saying Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, Game of Thrones. But then that's
surely like, 80 has seen Outlander.
Outlander. So that's totally on Amazon, and that is my fault because I could really actually just start it. But I'm an awful, awful, awful person. I only watch crime shows. And
so you don't even write romantic suspense or...
But you know what, to be fair, I mean, I do kind of have a little bit of suspense in my historical, in some of my historical ones, with Kensington, the ones with Kensington.
So I watch Outlander and Game of Thrones, and they totally work for me writing contemporary because they have hot men in them, and that's really the common thread.
Okay.
So you're doing yourself a major disservice by not watching Outlander. Oh, see, even 80 is Team Outlander. Yeah, Dawn, I'm sorry. You're not allowed to come back on the show until you have watched the first episode of Outlander.
Okay.
Have you read the book?
No.
Sorry. You're kind of dead to me right now. Maybe you'll resurrect. Revive yourself as a zombie before the next show. All right, we should get back to books. We've got about 5 minutes left. Does anybody have any other questions for Victoria, who has tolerated us quite well this evening?
No, but Kristen is your critique partner. She's never watched Game of Thrones either, but you're still friends.
You have to listen to me fangirl when things happen.
And Lynn,
Dawn, you're supposed to announce our winners. Remember, we told people that we would have a winner?
Right. So.
Oh, and I don't know, because Emma did not get to read, if you want to substitute her prize with, I'll send a copy of Cowboy Christmas Jubilee to somebody.
Okay.
Instead, since she didn't get to be on.
Okay, so Heidi Cookson is the winner of Victoria's. And Victoria, do you want to say, because I kind of wrote it down a little bit, but I've also had wine.
Any ebook of mine that you want, and then a $5 Starbucks gift card. So just give me your email, and I will send that out.
For Heidi Cookson, hopefully she's on, or we'll check this.
Hopefully she will.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we'll pick from somebody that was here if Heidi doesn't. So Heidi, in order to redeem your prize, you need to contact Victoria, let's say, within 48 hours? Yeah. Oh, you know what, though? I did say we'd tag them. So that's not going to work. I'm sorry. I was trying to be a real hard ass, and that's not going to work. We'll have to tag her. We'll do that next time. Next time you have to watch.
Gangsta thug over there. And Brandy Reynolds is the winner for Dylan's book.
All right. So we'll follow up with her.
Okay.
All right. Well, if nobody has any other questions, Dawn, do you have anything else you want to say before we turn you off tonight?
I do. So just our next broadcast will be November 8th, and we are going to welcome 3 authors that day. We've been trying to cut it down to 2 because then we can watch me make a fool out of myself more. And Dylan, we can watch me and Dylan go at it verbally.
I think your internet's cutting out. Surely you're not slurring.
No, I'm not slurring. But November 8th, we will be hosting Annalisa Adams, and she is my critique partner. And she is a debut author, and she is amazing. She writes really good books. Heather Van Fleet and Katie Ruggles. And Katie is amazing as well. She's one of our agency sisters, so we love her to death.
And she lives by me, so I forced her to meet me for coffee on a regular basis.
Yeah, Dylan strong arms everybody after once you
pretty much.
It's like you're having coffee with me.
It's kind of a forced friendship thing, but it works for me, so.
It works for me too. All right, and so we'll see you November 8th. And thank you so much for joining us. I had a blast. And I always do here.
Thank you, Victoria, so much for joining in and being flexible. If you guys want, we'll leave the links up there. If you want to check out Victoria's books, she's got, oh my gosh, you've got like a free book if they sign up for your newsletter. You've got, if people want to start, take a chance on one of your books, like you have many, many, many options for them. Oh, you know what? We did have a question earlier, actually. Where did it go? Now it's buried. Oh, who wants to know, Victoria? She probably already knows the answer to this question, I'm guessing. How many books have you written this month?
2.
Ah! They were each like 2,500 words long, right?
No, 40 to 50.
Gosh.
Girl!
I know.
Children.
They're okay.
Oh my word.
She probably just doesn't eat or shower or brush your teeth. I don't know. I don't know when you have time to do that. I don't know when you have time to do that. You're making me feel like a major slacker.
Do you have like the one-handed type down? So do you like nurse with one hand and like type with the other?
Do you dictate?
No, I wish.
Oh, I wish I could dictate. I feel weird.
I guess too much correction. Forget it.
Yeah, I tried it once on my phone, and what it captured was not what I intended. And I thought it would take me a lot longer to go back and fix it. I have heard a lot of people, though, that, once they train their dragon, it's kind of awkward at first, and then they can start to make progress. But you've tried that?
Yeah, I tried. It took too long. I was like, forget it.
Okay.
Yeah. Maisie Yates dictates.
Many people I know that.
Well, and she's pretty darn prolific as well.
Yeah, for sure.
So Victoria, oh, go ahead.
No, go for it.
Well, now you made me forget what I was going to say.
Oh, but I was going to say that Emma will be back. We're going to reschedule her.
Yep.
So those of you who are coming to see Emma, we will have her on the show. Hopefully she won't have a storm that day, and we can get her internet connection.
Yep.
But thank you so much, Dylan, for being ready to read your book on a dime.
Absolutely. I would have tried to find a kissing scene if it hadn't been so spur of the moment. So
and also
next time I read, I promise you a kissing scene. Although we did say we're going to try to keep this PG-13.
Yeah.
Since I have kissing scene would be fine. Yep.
They're PG.
Yeah.
Come on.
We were just talking about that. About how, the PG, I was talking about that at work, how the PG of the 80s is a lot different than the PG now, because one of my coworkers went back and watched Poltergeist, and she said they were, and that's PG, and she said it was a lot different than PG nowadays. It was more like a free-for-all back then, I guess. So they've cracked down on PG, I guess, was my point. But we digress. All right, let's let these people go.
Wait,
so people
I do
can go to bed.
Tanya, I didn't mean to upset you. You can be on Team Dylan and beat me up. That's all right.
Nobody's going to beat you up, Dawn.
No, that's okay. I know that because
we are not going to resort to physical violence. That's not who we are.
I used to fight off 4 sisters at once, so I know you won't beat me up, but I'll let you try.
Please stop inciting a riot. Everyone's fine. I'm just kidding.
No.
All right. So we're going to sign off now, but thank you for coming, and we hope that you'll tune in November, the second Thursday of the month. It's an early one, November 8th. So we will see you then. Oh, what happened to Elizabeth? Who's this?
Who's the other one?
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
What a cutie. Victoria, you have absolutely adorable children.
Yeah.
And you're like my new hero for being able to write that many words with kids around.
I think she's everyone's hero.
Laura Weber said she would write with 3 little boys in her house, so she's always been my inspiration.
Oh, so you're gonna have one more?
No, I'm good.
I have one little boy, and I have to entertain him constantly, so I can't get any words done when he's in here. Well, no, I mean, I have 4 boys and a girl, but I have one little boy that's home when I'm supposed to be writing.
Well, Victoria can give you some tips off screen.
Yes, sure.
All right, we'll see you next month. Everybody have a happy Halloween and happy reading. Talk to you later. Bye.